Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about types of ambush that are used by U.S. opposing forces. This is more of an intent thing than actual the setup of the ambush. The actual setup of the ambush, when I was in the military, it was classified as dismounted or personnel or anti-vehicular ambush. And then you had subcategories from there. With the opposing force, we're looking at what's the intent, not the specific how the equipment is laid out on the ground. Now, for reference on this, I'm using TC 7-100.2 Opposing Force Tactics 2011. Now there are some pictures from the manual I'm going to show you here, and I also drew some pictures to give an idea on the stuff. There's three basic types of ambush according to OPFOR doctrine. The first is Annihilation. This is your traditional ambush. The enemy ends up inside the kill zone. You stop them inside the kill zone, and then you pour on massive fires to take them out. So the enemy came into the kill zone. We hit the lead vehicle with an IED to stop it in place, stop it inside the kill zone. Then all our personnel, which were on the other side of the road, to give them a little bit of cover from the IED, begin to open up, and they get told, you're going to open up your sectors this from here to here, or your sectors from here to here. They all open up, they pour in fire on the ambush, on the enemy force inside the kill zone. The next type is harassment. Harassment is, you can consider it as your long range ambushes primarily. You're just trying to cause the enemy some damage, but you're not trying to wipe them out like in an Annihilation. Good example for this is Afghanistan. Convoys are traveling on a road. The enemy sets themselves up on the hillside farther away. They could be a couple hundred meters away, they could be 500, they could be 800. And they use long range fires, pouring it down on the road. They're not going to get mass fires, they're just targeting the individual vehicles. In this one, I tossed in here an anti-tank guided missile team. They fire their missile on the first vehicle to try to hit it. If they take it out, they take it out. You have general purpose machine gun, which will start at one point and then sweep up the convoy as they're trying to move forward. We have a squad automatic weapon. He's trying to concentrate on just the one vehicle. You have a sniper. He's just trying to put rounds onto the gunners. He's got a scope, so he'll be able to get in a little bit more of an accurate shot on individual targets, where the rest of our personnel using direct fire weapons, machine guns, rifles, and that stuff, they're targeting the vehicle itself, not the individual people on it, because they could be too far away. Now, I'll jump into some pictures on here from the manual. They have multiple examples of the ambush. Let's see if I can get you a good glimpse here. This first one is vehicular ambush. You have the enemy force here, two vehicles. You have two vehicles that come up. As soon as they get alongside, they pour on fire, pull right in front of them to try to make a roadblock, and then continue pouring fires into the vehicles. So they're going after potentially a high value target. Down here, the enemy ends up inside the kill zone. We have a vehicle that pulls up behind to stop them from escaping. We have a couple vehicles in front which can be used for a roadblock. We have people alongside, people that jump out of the vehicle and back, and people that were hidden up around the vehicles up front to try to keep the enemy in the kill zone and wipe them out. This next one, hopefully I can get a good enough picture for you here, which it doesn't seem to want to focus. There we go. We have an ambush of a motorized element inside a city. They are employing hunter-killer teams of 2 to 4 personnel. The teams are equipped with anti-tank rocket systems like the RPG, some type of automatic weapon along the lines of a saw or a general purpose machine gun like a PKM. You have one sniper with a scoped rifle and then one rifleman who kind of fills in. Here, the individual hunter-killer teams are spread out in the buildings and on multiple floors. Some of them are in basements, popping out of manhole covers in the road. Some are on first story windows, some are second, some are on the roof. It's 360 all the way around, multiple directions to cause confusion and to cause the enemy the maximum damage. And they also put in obstacles on the roadways to cause the enemy to stay inside the kill zone. Example of a harassment ambush. There's a 2-person team. One is a lookout, one is the person who sets off the IEDs. They have a roadblock up front, a disabled bus which is burning, IEDs which are command detonated along the side of the roadway, and when the enemy patrol ends up inside the kill zone, they start setting them off. Sorry I couldn't get the camera to focus good enough on the pictures, but hopefully you get somewhat of an idea. Maybe you can close in more with however way you're watching this video. Now the final version of the ambush is Containment. In this one, the main part of the unit is attacking an enemy forward operating base. We know that the enemy will send in a QRF, a quick reaction force, from another forward operating base or unit working in the area. We put in an ambush along the side of the roadway to take care of that QRF, to take them out. We're trying to at least hold them off long enough that the intent of the commander who's attacking the FOB, that intent gets accomplished. It could be just trying to destroy certain things inside the base, maybe cause them a significant number of casualties. Maybe it's the destruction of the forward operating base itself. But we're trying to hold off that quick reactionary force. That's our ambush over here. They're trying to contain them, to keep them from coming in to support this forward operating base. Now, according to what I've read and the OPFOR doctrine on this stuff, the ambushes also cover, the same intents cover for anti-aircraft. Not necessarily air defense. You're not really taking care of, you're protecting your own personnel. You're actual anti-aircraft. You're out there hunting enemy aircraft. So you would be hunting the enemy's drones. You're hunting their helicopters, especially their transport helicopters, their cargo helicopters. Gunships, well, if you're going to take them on, you need some serious ordnance for that. Where with, say, a Mi-4 HIP or a UH-60 Blackhawk or a UH-1 Huey, those you can really mess up with just a simple general purpose machine gun. A 30 caliber type, along the lines of your M240s, your PKMs, MG3s, and equivalents around the world. You can do it using an M249 squad automatic weapon or Russian RPK, RPD, but it's going to take a lot more rounds because you're using a smaller round to try to hit this target that's moving around in the sky. Where if you're hitting it with a 30 caliber or a 50 caliber, those rounds for sure are going to be doing some damage when it hits. You're not going to be hitting it with as many rounds. Well, in that case, you want to use the bigger rounds to try to hit it, so the few hits that you do get in on that aerial target, it's going to cause it major damage. Oh, there you go. 3 types or 3 intents for ambushes under U.S. opposing force doctrine. Annihilation, keeping the enemy inside the kill zone, taking them out. Harassment, you're just trying to cause them damage, you're not trying to wipe them out. And containment, you're trying to stop an enemy force from reinforcing someone else. You're trying to contain them inside that particular location for either a specified length of time until you're ordered to disengage, or the enemy has been annihilated. So you can combine the annihilation with the containment. Harassment, not so much, because the enemy is expected they're going to get through the harassment ambush. Containment, you're trying to keep them in there. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.